Let's discuss.
Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another video, and today I will be checking out a new song from Revaira called Omnigate. I'm very excited to check it out. I've covered this band quite a bit on the channel at this point. It's a band I found through when I first started taking live stream requests. We did a Revaira song, and that was how I found them. I love this band. They have a special sound. I've talked a lot about what I enjoy about them, but with this track, I'm hoping for one of those choruses that just really resonates with me, like Heart Eater. That is probably my favorite from them, but they have quite a few contenders. So that's what I'm hoping for out of this track. Plus, who knows what else I'm hoping for, but I'm sure it will be something that'll go on the playlist if they continue on the path that they've laid out thus far. You may notice in this video, I filmed the rest of it on a different day. I had an intro filmed, but I didn't notice that I had music playing on my computer that's just blasting through the intro. So that is why this part is different. I'm very excited to get into it. So I'll link all of Revaira's social media, promotional links, the video I used in the reaction portion in the description. Other than that, I'm going to stop talking. We're going to get straight into it. Woo, got the bend in that riff.
My gaze is cold as ice while I am slowly drifting. A feeling of release is growing under my skin. So I chose death and he chose me. It is an ocean thing within reach. My body just translucent while I'm slowly shifting towards my final movement, life that coexisting. So I chose death and he chose me. It is an ocean thing within reach. Feels like nothing's left. I'm in a illusion behind this broken wall. It seems like everything I was fades black. I see death on the horizon. Taking my hand, I feel nothing at all. Slowly drifting towards it. I am fearless.
Ooh, that transition was nice.
My soul escapes from my illusion. Into the night I will follow. I will follow. Gaze as cold as ice while I am slowly drifting. A feeling of release is growing under my skin. So I chose death and he chose me. It is an ocean thing within me. My gaze is cold as ice while I am slowly drifting.
Oh yeah, loving the guitar work on this one.
Is this a new beginning? 'Cause I chose death and he chose me. While waiting for salvation, I just perceive.
I love this. Ooh. They just, when it comes to a chorus, they've got it put away every time. That part there, so catchy. Strange Works. What I was gonna say, I love that, and then I cut off, was the close-up shot of the strings. I love that. Revaira, Omnigate, let's discuss. So I feel like they definitely have their formula down for what works best with them, and this is another track where I don't feel like they went over the top with the heaviness. Like, I feel like some bands really would feel the pressure to do so, I suppose, rather than like incorporating the heavier parts so well with the electronic stuff, the synth. When you look at, I think it's somewhere around like 2:30 or 2:45, somewhere in that like 15-second-ish block where you have where it really feels like it comes to a head, and you hear a lot of what I'm talking about with the mixture of the electronic elements that are present throughout the entire track, whether it be a lighter approach or very heavy. I think it does a great job of not kind of leaning too far in one direction just for like that shock factor type of value. Chorus is exactly what I'm looking for from them, and I mentioned it since they put out Heart Eater as a single off of the EP titled Journey. That was really the moment for me when I was like, I feel like they've really like gotten into a stride with these choruses, where because they've had it in them for sure. When you listen through to In Between and then the standalone singles that followed, it felt like with the standalone, that was really where things. Bloom was the track, and I talk about that on every Revaira video that I do because it's still my favorite track from them. But Bloom was really the track that had me paying attention to that, noticing the soundscape, kind of getting familiar with the things that I think make Revaira stand out. With these newer tracks, it does feel like a different chapter for them. Like with Journey, that felt like its own, definitely, but a good point from the standalone singles prior to it. And now with these two newer tracks post Journey, I feel the same. It feels like this has a very heavy presence of like the electronic stuff I'm talking about, even as it kicks in, and you get a little bit of almost like that fist bump type of beat. Which did surprise me a little bit. So as much as I feel like the formula is there, I do think they're still doing stuff that's a little bit different. Not, you can't, there are certain bands that when they put out a new single, you could almost imagine what it's going to sound like, what the structure will be in that. And I don't necessarily think Revaira's at that point because they're switching things up a bit. What I'm talking about here with the electronic stuff, each release kind of feeling like it's stepping in its own form, but still continuing forward with what they've set down. My favorite jump for them is between In Between, is the jump between In Between and the first standalone after that. It really was the place for me, because In Between is great. I feel like that's a solid release, but doesn't have quite everything that going forward from that point in their discography makes them sound even more unique. I felt like they figured something out, and I've talked about how in their interview with Bulin Tunes, they spoke about their writing process, about how their vocalist will, set up the soundscapes and it's some instrumental stuff and pass those around to the band members who will write some lyrics. It's just a very interesting process, and I think that translates well in their sound and kind of keeps them. So I hope they continue doing that with their process, at least, because it seems to work very well. But anyway, with this track, the things I'm looking for from Revaira and for them to do well, the chorus, the blending of those elements I'm talking about, kind of I guess finding the balance for the edge that they bring with the heaviness, with the scream, not even just the screams too. Like when I was talking about the riff that stuck out to me the most, but really the guitar work across this, it opens up for the chorus. It's got the kind of ambient sound that it needs for the lighter parts of what this band is, but at the same time, like the fast pace, the bendiness, has the intro riff had that bendiness, and then you have some of the fast paced stuff that's definitely something strongly present on Journey, and really with Revaira, that's the tone, the fast kind of like I don't know, it just like it's such a nice contrast through some of that, like the atmosphere that they have to have those really fast paced riffs. Like in this track, Heart Eater has that there's just a special combination of things I think Revaira is using that I'm very excited to see how it plays out going further into their discography. This is another track that will be revisited by me. It'll go on to the playlist. I am happy with this. Let me know what you thought in the description. There's really nothing I would want differently from them as they continue going forward this way, just hoping that they keep that sort of a sound that I'm talking about in everything from, you know, after in between that makes them feel unique to me and very expressive, I suppose. Anyway, all of their social media, the music video I used in the reaction portion of this, anything you may need related to the band will be in the description of this video. You'll also be able to find my Linktree, which will have my Patreon. I'm working right now on getting everything back up and running. I was sick for the last like 10 days or so, which has set back my YouTube schedule, some of the stuff I had planned for Patreon, so now I'm just kind of getting back on board with that. But I will be doing the monthly live stream, of course, continuing working on the Patreon stuff, so that'll be there. Also, the invite link for the Discord server, which is where the community is based for my YouTube channel. We've got a lot of really wonderful people in there just running a music-related community. We've got music-related conversation and a bunch of conversation also unrelated to music. So if you're interested in checking out the community, that'll be there. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.